Welcome to InnovativePhysiqueDevelopment.com. My name is Robert Malek, ISSA Elite Trainer with 18 certifications from Science of Sport. This is Bodybuilding and Training episode number 1. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to address the Mentzer method of rest pause, and also begin to touch on the science of different fiber types and how and why this works. Okay. Now, one thing that I see in the gym that is commonly practiced and pretty much solely practiced is where everyone is doing approximately 6 to 8 reps, 12 reps, burning out, going to failure, and set is done. Now, you certainly want to have metabolic stress, metabolic burn, a term that I'm sure you've heard of. You're feeling the burn, you want to burn out, that kind of thing. When you put the metabolic stress, the burn, on your muscles, then you do have a hypertrophic training response. This is a good thing, okay? This goes by way of volume, okay? Metabolic stress and volume. Mentzer had an accumulation of volume strategy where you're resting at the end of your set for 10 seconds, doing another rep, another rest for 10 seconds, doing another rep, another rest for 10 seconds, doing another rep. Increase the volume, increasing the metabolic burn, and this is a good thing. You certainly want to do this to increase the intensity and fully go to failure on the type 2A fiber, because that's what you're targeting here with that rep range and what you're doing. But there are 4 different fiber types to develop. There's 2B, there's 2A, there's 2A1, and there's 1. So you don't want to only focus on 2A. Now, some people may argue that the 2B fiber is more correctly called the 2X. Whatever, I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. I'm sure it doesn't matter to you. So to make it simple, 2A, 2B. Okay, now, Mentzer targets now the 2B fiber by doing something very different that I don't see anyone doing. I'm sure all of you have heard of doing a 1 rep max. All right. Now, I don't see anyone doing 1 rep maxes. You may feel this is dangerous because it's too heavy. Well, it can be if your form isn't right and if you're not used to going heavy. Okay. And in addition, you want to be in shape before you go heavy. You don't want to start out when you're out of shape and doing 1 rep maxes. Okay. So if you're already in good shape with your 6 to 8 reps, been working on this for, let's say, like a year, it's time to start to develop the power and the strength of the 2B fiber. Okay, so from here, you want to reduce the reps 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 your sets. Get your muscles accustomed to going heavy, so that you can really hit into this Mentzer principle on this rest pause that I'm about to share with you, and do it safely. Okay, so once again, to recap, you want to do this after you're already in good shape. You've been training for about a year with the usual rep range. Then you want to do sets where you're decreasing the reps 5, 4, 3, 2, and bringing that down. All right, over time. Not on the same day. I'm saying over time, let's say week 1, 5 reps, week 2, 4 reps, you slowly, and you get your muscles accustomed to be able to go heavy, and you keep your form right. You don't abandon your 6 to 8 reps or your 6 to 12s, or even up to your 15s, or even 25s if you like, which is all good. Going towards endurance and type 1 fibers, there's no issue with that. But whatever you're doing as far as your higher reps go, keep that going. But also start to do some of your lower reps as well. Get your muscles accustomed to it and move forward. Now, as you progress towards your 5 rep, your 4 reps, your 3 reps, your 2 reps, now we're going to get into the 1 rep maxes and truly developing this type 2B fiber to its max. So you're going to do a rep, and you're going to wait about 10 seconds according to Mentzer, which scientifically makes sense. You're in the ATP phosphocreatine system, otherwise also called the phosphagen system. This is a 10-second system, 10-to-1 work to rest ratio. So what you're doing here is you're doing a rep, and you're waiting 10 seconds. Now, if your rep is really fast, if you're doing a little more speed work here than strength, which I have shown in a video that I've done out at the beach, if you didn't go for, let's say, a maximum weight, a little less than maximum weight, but you're going to pull this or push it as fast as you can, then if it's very quick, it's okay to wait a little less than 10 seconds. But what Mike Mentzer did here was he would do this multiple times, like approximately 6 times. And you can do this even more if you like. I like to do even more reps. It doesn't hurt, as long as you're keeping your intensity up here. He would do a rep, wait 10 seconds, do a rep, wait 10 seconds, do a rep, wait 10 seconds. You don't feel a metabolic burn on this. It's mechanical tension. So one thing, like, for example, if I'm doing lat pulls, like single arm lat pulls to the side, I'll do a lat pull to the side here, right? Let's say if the cable's there, lat pull, okay. Get a breath, relax, okay, turn around, lat pull, all right. Okay, good, take it nice and slow, okay. Back into position again, ready, boom, okay. So you're going like, you know, you kind of taking it slow, you're taking a breather. It's like endurance singles. Now, as far as rate of force development versus strength, this is something that's very, very interesting. Training for maximum strength in this manner will not necessarily give you maximum power or rate of force development. You could still be slow with your strength, right? What you want to do to hit the type 2B fiber more thoroughly is do sets where you're going heavy weight, that you cannot quite move that weight too quickly, though you're trying to. And do some sets that are a little less in weight, so that you're able to move it faster. And with this, you'll be working on speed as well as the rate of force development. So the rate of force development and the strength can be worked with the heavy weight. And the rate of force development and the speed can be worked with the lighter weight, and you're both hitting the type 2B fiber. And one does not necessarily translate over to the other, okay? Training is specific. Mike Mentzer talks about going to failure. It's a little bit simplistic to believe that you could just go to failure and everything is fine. And that's what too many guys that are training, too many guys and girls, pardon me. Too many guys and girls that are training believe that as long as you go to failure, life is good. If this was the case, then you would be able to be a marathon runner by doing 10 sets of sprints to failure, and vice versa. You could do 10 sets of sprints to failure. Wait, did I get that right? Hold on. You could be a great sprinter by being a marathon runner and going to failure, okay? Or you could be a great marathon runner and then be a great sprinter because you went to failure on the marathon side. So you can't necessarily just go to failure and think, oh, I got all my fibers, I'm good. It just doesn't work that way, all right? And as a personal example, when I ran my second marathon on May 6th of 1990, and I wasn't able to find any hard sand that day. There was only soft sand at the beach. And I hit the wall at about the 20-mile mark, and I still had about 6 or 7 miles more to go. I don't know, when I say 6 or 7, it's because I clocked the distance with my car, and I chose to run 27 miles to make sure, just in case my car was off on the odometer, that at least I ran 26. So, according to my calculations, I was at the 20-mile mark, and I felt that I hit the wall. I didn't have carbohydrates with me. And of course I had to keep going, and I did. And the last mile, my legs went numb, and I couldn't feel my legs anymore, and I realized that I cannot continue to run at the same pace that I was running at. So I had to do something. And I first started reading about sports medicine when I was 13 years old, and the book that I had read was the sports medicine book by Gabe Merkin and Michael Hoffman. So I had already known about different fiber types when I was 13. So here I was in 1990 when I was about 20, 21, and I was like, okay, so I figured out a plan. I'm gonna walk 25 steps, and I'm gonna sprint. I'm gonna walk 25 steps, and I'm gonna sprint. I'm like, this shouldn't, according to science, this shouldn't work. Let's give it a try, because I can't keep running at this pace anymore. And I was amazed that that actually worked. Like, how the hell am I sprinting? You know, I can't feel my legs anymore, I'm done. But I was able to sprint, and I was able to walk. Sprint, walk, sprint, walk. So, absolutely, you cannot just take your sets to failure and think, oh, I got all my fibers 2B, 2A, 2A1, 1, don't worry about it. No. So, getting back to what I was saying as far as being specific here. The type 2B fiber, you want to train, when you're doing the rest pause, you want to train this for rate of force development and speed by doing it a little lighter way. You also want to train this for strength and rate of force development to build strength. You want to build strength, you want to build speed, and you want to have your rate of force development. Now, if you ask me, Rob, is it okay if I do some sets that are really heavy, that I'm not going for rate of force development, I'm just going to do it slowly? Yeah, sure, you can mix it up a little bit. But when you're going for rate of force development that you're trying to make a movement as quickly as possible, you're ensuring the targeting of the type 2B fast twitch fiber. Okay? That's your maximum strength and speed fiber. Now, another thing that I'm seeing lacking in the gym is everyone's doing reps at a certain speed, at a certain pace. No one's focusing on speed and rate of force development. You don't just have strength, you have power. Otherwise, you're just slow. You have speed. You know, bodybuilders have a little bit of the stigma that they're that they're slow, they can't fight or whatever, or they're lumbering kind of. Well, there is some truth to this, because if you're training everything slow, then you cannot move explosively, and no one trains for that. So you're working out in the gym, and everything is slow, everything is slow, everything is slow. So what do you expect is going to happen in the real world if you ever have to move quickly? Yes, you're strong, but you can't do anything fast. You don't have power. This is another component of strength. You see, you may be stronger than me as far as how much you can lift. Let's say you can lift 100 pounds, and I can only lift 80 pounds. But what if I can lift 80 pounds faster than you can? So what I have here is I have a different form of strength. That I have something called power that you don't have. And there isn't just strength and power, which is the ability to quickly accelerate, but there's also speed that you're able to attain as well. There's rate of force development for power, but there's strength with the strength with the speed. There's force with the speed. Okay? So you want to have the rate of force to where you can move that force at a high rate where you have power. And part of this component of also the strength is the speed that you're able to obtain. So what we have is we have endurance, we have speed, we have rate with which you can attain that speed upon resistance. And then also we have just strength of any rate whatsoever, right? It's almost like the difference between a power lifter driving up a weight, say on a deadlift, and using a hydraulic jack for a car. Okay? So we have great strength in that hydraulic jack, but it has no power. It has no rate. It has no rate of force. It's just, So you want to develop various capabilities of your muscles, and particularly with the type 2B, once again. Strength, speed, rate of force development. So when you're doing these reps, you don't even want to do them all the same. Okay? Yes, you did a rep, and you took 10 seconds, a rep in 10 seconds. Let's say you did one that was just okay, really slow. All right, maybe in bodybuilding, you want to feel the muscle contraction, you want to get to the mind muscle, good, okay. Nothing wrong with that. That's good. But you also want to do stuff that is explosive as well, and you can do that, attempt to do that with the heavy weight. Even if you can't move it quickly, at least you attempted to, and the benefits are there. You could also drop the weight a little bit, and your movement will be faster, more explosive. Work on speed and rate of force. So, what you'll see me doing out at the beach is where I'm doing these like endurance singles, and the weight isn't too much. At least, well, look, I'm pulling 155 pounds in the sand. It's a lot of weight for my usual workout that I was doing, which was 1,706 reps. So yeah, that's a lot of weight for that. I am going to be increasing the poundage on it because it's actually becoming a little bit on the light side, so I want to put on 10 more pounds. So yeah, it's a lot for 1,700 reps. It's not a lot for my singles. So when you see me doing my singles, it's like boom, it's a fraction of a second. Like I'll pull it like bam, done. Right? So that's the difference. And I can fatigue out metabolically for 1,700 reps, but that is in no way equal to me doing my singles, which you see. It's very different. And then you also see the video where I'm burning out, where I'm going quickly, and I'm just doing a metabolic burn, and I'm burning out. There's nothing wrong with that either. So you'll see the endurance side where I go on forever, and then you'll see where I'm going quickly, and I'm burning it out, and you see where I'm doing my singles, all right? Different stuff, all good. I also could have done it where I slow down a little bit, and I do my single, like I do my singles, but when I do my single, I pull it faster. You know, there's different ways to manipulate that to hit the 4 fibers differently. And I'll be doing other videos as far as how to attack the areas, or how to, not attack, but how to address and focus on the 4 fibers being 2B, 2A, 2A, 1, and 1. Mike Mentzer's principle of the rest pause, where he continues after a set of approximately 6 reps, wait 10 seconds, hit another rep, wait 10 seconds, hit another rep, another rep, is focusing on the 2A, all right? But then he also has that method where he's focusing on the 2B. And the 2B is your fastest fiber, your strongest fiber. You don't want to neglect that fiber. It's one that is constantly neglected in the gym. And I wanted to use my education to take his teaching and what he shows a little further to say, hey, it's not just 1 rep and a 10-second pause. If the rep is faster than 1 second, if it's a rep is a half second, you may only need a 5 or 6 second pause, all right? Take a little bit more, all right, take a little more, but I just want you to know that. And to know that don't have this be all the same. Don't just do each one of those reps slowly. Now, if you do it too slow on a 10-to-1 work to rest ratio, you may need a 20-second break. All right, so you don't want this to be too slow anyway. The thing is, have your reps where you get into your muscle, and if in fact you needed to go a little over the 10-second, all right, it's okay. But if you were to stay on to Mike Mentzer's principle of the 10-to-1, then you wouldn't want it to be more than a second. Do I think that the rep can be more than 1 second? I think so, yes. So let's say if you want to get into the muscle on this rep, you see here, and you want to focus on that, right? You want to focus on that. If it takes a little more than a second, if it's a second and a half, for instance, so be it, right? A little more time, so be it. No problem with going somewhat slow on some reps and getting into the muscle while you're going heavy. But you also want to do them where you're focusing on the rate of force development and speed. Reduce the weight a little bit. Okay. You want to do some where you're focusing on strength and rate of force development, where the weight is high. And also do some reps where it's rate of force development and speed, where the weight is a little bit less. So these are some 3 different ways to manipulate that Mike Mentzer rest pause on type 2B. This energy system is the ATP phosphocreatine energy system. It's a 10-second system. It's also known as the phosphagen system. All right, and you're focusing here once again on mechanical tension, not the burn. It's hitting the fibers really, really hard, and also focusing on your central nervous system and nerve impulses going to your muscles. All right, you want to develop that as well for your strength. It's not just the muscles themselves. You have increases in rate of the neural discharges as well as the intensity of the discharges. You want to work on that. And I'm going to be showing some of my videos of work that I did at the beach for you to see the differences. So I'll be outlining that. And oh yeah, also what I want to touch on is that you're not quite pumping up here as much as when you're doing his rest pause on the 6 to 8. Don't worry about that. You're hitting the fibers here really, really hard. It's a very different feel than the typical set where you're pumping up and you're burning out. All right, so that's going to be very different that you'll feel. One is focusing a little more on the sarcoplasm than the fibers. It's a little bit technical there. Of course, you are also hitting the fibers of the 2A on his rest pause, but you're getting some more of the sarcoplasm on the 2A than what you are on the 2B. So I just want to also touch on that a little bit as well. But finally, in closing on this, I just want you to really understand there's a very big difference between the metabolic burn and the burnout that you're so used to doing and your fiber stress. And just focusing on fibers. It's not a race. I know that so many of you have been involved with athletics, whoever has been involved as your coach or whatever, over time, everything is like, go, 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 go. Oh, this is great, coach. I'm really, I feel like I'm gonna die. I can't really even move now. Oh, that's great. It's a great workout. Okay, I know that's sort of balance out there. That's the thinking. This is not correct. That has its place on the metabolic side, where you're focusing on the other fibers, the endurance, the 2A1 into the 1. When you're focusing on a 2B fiber, this is on the other end of the spectrum, and that's aerobic, this is anaerobic, you're all the way over here. Take your breaks and hit those fibers as hard as you can, as well as think of the nerves, the central nervous system, and how fast you can do this. And I'll tell you something, in life, right, God forbid you ever get into a fight, you know how much of a tremendous advantage it is that you not only have strength, but you have power and speed, but you have rate of force development. That if you ever get into a situation where you lock up with someone and a wrestling move, how fast you can actually, let's say, crank them down, you can twist them. You can twist them, boom, just like that. Because you aren't training everything slow, but your muscles are able to react fast. This is the Mike Tyson thing. The Mike Tyson didn't just have speed, he had power. He had rate of force development. He had tremendous strength that once he hits you, he can go through you. Explosive, not just where it's weak explosive, where it's just speed without any strength. But once he hits you, his strength is such that he can go through you. All right? Strength with speed is incredible. So no matter whatever happens to you in your life, no matter what you ever have to do in a self-defense situation, if you have the ability to have not just speed, but also the ability to have strength with the speed, you have a tremendous advantage in any physical confrontation that you ever come across. All right? So, okay, so that's pretty much about it. I know this was a long one, but there'll be more to come, and there's a lot to this. This is not, this thing with the exercise science and personal trainers, let me tell you something. Those personal trainers that are just standing there, just looking at your form, there's a lot more to this than that. There are a lot of trainers out there that don't have knowledge. So because of this, a lot of gyms, they just want to pay minimum wage, as if all we know how to do is say, yeah, go ahead, keep going, you're doing great, you know, good job. And let me make sure your form's okay. No, personal training is more than that, a lot more than that. Exercise science is more than that. I, of course, have taken it far further. There are trainers that do, there are trainers that don't. This is the study of medicine, people. This is not simple. There's going to be a lot more videos, a lot more to learn as we dive into the field of exercise physiology more and more. And hopefully you find it as exciting and as beneficial as I do. All right, let's get after it today.